Is my voice clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Dandat Pranam, Prabhuji Mataji, Hare Krishna. Sorry, I was playing Mirdanga and I could not text. It's going on for a long kirtan. We have Prabhupada disciple visiting. That's why it got late. Om Akyantimigandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखम करोति वाचालं पंगुम लंगायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्. There is very nice, wonderful kirtan going on, loud. Just ended, almost last part. Okay. So we are discussing the second verse today. We will cover maybe first three elements. The first verse describes the six urges, um, and anyone who can tolerate these six urges can become the spiritual master and have disciples all over the world. And Rupa Goswami especially is requesting us somehow or other if we can tolerate these six urges. And we discuss from the purport of how and what are the ways in which these six urges can be tolerated. And those six urges is Vachu, the urge to speak, the subject matter not connected to Krishna. Vachaveka Manasa, mind control. Krodha, anger control. Urge, tolerate the urge to become angry. Jiva, the urge, tolerate the urge to eat things which are not offered to Krishna. And we discuss many more subtle elements also. And Udara Prastha, and the urge of the belly and the urge of the genitals. Somehow or other, tolerate those urges. Now, once once one has tolerated these urges, then Rupa Goswami describes in the second verse what are the elements that can spoil our devotional service. Many times people ask these questions, okay, please tell us about some impediments or things to avoid, things that can, like Rupa Goswami says, we'll go to the verse itself. Atyahara Prayasascha Prajalpo Niyamagraha Janasangascha Laulyamcha Shadbir Bhakti Vinashyati. So Vinashyati means like Vinash. Vinashyati means destroyed. And Shadbir means these six things. Bhakti Vinashyati means these six things will destroy our bhakti. And so Rupa Goswami is telling first, don't engage in these six things. And what are those? In simple words, atyahara. Atyahara means ahar means food. Atyahara means overeating, but atyahara does not mean only overeating. Um, Accumulating more things than required. Um, Anything excess of enjoyment, anything in excess is atyahara. Um, if atyahara means only overeating, then this becomes a repetition from the first verse. First verse says jiva vegam. Jiva vegam and atyahara will become like redundant in a way. So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says atyahara ahar here means not only food, any over accumulation. I want more wealth. Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur also says collecting more books than we can read, and in various ways expands this concept of atyahar. And then atyahar means if we need a lot more, then we need to work a lot to acquire all those things. And that becomes prayasa. Prayasa means we are really working hard to establish ourselves in this world. And then we have not much time for practicing bhakti sincerely. Cha and also prajalpo. Prajalpo is um, prajalpo correlates to vachovega. Prajalpo. Prajalpa means unnecessary talks. Then niyamagraha. we will see Niyamagra means following, basically. If there are some rules and regulations that will help us advance in bhakti, and we are not so careful about following them. Um, and there is one more aspect of Niyamagra that we will cover as we go forward. The Jana Sangas is um, associating unwanted association. We'll also discuss the various kinds of unwanted association. And then laulyam means becoming greedy for something, material greed. And these six things destroy bhakti. So Srila Prabhupada translation, once devotional service is spoiled when he becomes too entangled in the following six activities. One is eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required. Over endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. This is prayas. Prayasa means even though like it is very difficult to obtain, still we are putting a lot of energy and a lot of time. Um, Over endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. Then there is prajalpo. Prajalpo is talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters. It is also said that when as practicing devotees, if we are talking, then we should know where to cut the talk, or how much we can allow talk in this subject matter and where to stop unnecessarily going on and on. Then fourth is Niyamagraha. Niyamagra means practicing the scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulations of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically. So Niyamagra has two meanings, but I will go in these details when we discuss about Niyamagra. Then Jana Sangha, associating with the worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. And Laulyam is being greedy for mundane achievements. Okay, so we will see the introduction, then the six things in detail, and how they destroy, or how the bhakti becomes impeded by these six things. So first, introduction. So Srila Prabhupada began the purport by saying um, Krishna has three main potencies. One is Antaranga Shakti, one is Bahiranga Shakti, and one is marginal potency. Antaranga Shakti refers to um, 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 devotional service. When we practice or when we are absorbed in Krishna, then we are under the control of Antaranga Shakti. The personification of Antaranga Shakti, Srimati Radharani. External Shakti or Bahiranga Shakti is Maya Shakti. Maya Shakti bewilders or deludes the jiva away from Krishna. That is external potency. And Tathastha Shakti is marginal potency. And we are called marginal because we have the free will to either absorb ourselves in devotional service or Antaranga Shakti, or we also have free will to be captured by the illusory energy. We are either this way or that way. And that's why we are marginal potency. Um, in a way, it is also said that do we have free will or we have no free will? The only free will we have is to choose either Krishna or Maya. That's the only free will we have. Um, then Srila Prabhupada says, how do we know who is under Antaranga Shakti and who is in the Bahiranga Shakti? Krishna describes in 9th chapter, Krishna speaks this verse. Mahatmanas tumam partha daivim prakritim ashrita bhajanti ananya manaso gyato bhutatim avyayam. So Mahatmanas tumam partha. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. Daivim prakritim ashrita. Ashrita means shelter. And Prakriti means energy, and Daivi Prakriti means the internal energy. Daivi Prakriti Mashita means the Mahatmas or the great souls, or those who are under the internal potency. They always try to remain under the shelter of Yogamaya or Shrimati Radharani, or they are always engaged in devotional service. They are always striving for Krishna consciousness or absorbed in Krishna. Um, so this is Mahatmas, shelter of internal potency. Bhajanti Ananya Manaso. Basically, they um, Anya means other, something else. Ananya means nothing else. Ananya means only this. And what is Ananya? Bhajanti. So they are engaged in worship or devotional service and nothing else. That is called Bhajanti Ananya Manaso. And we will discuss more details in Bhagavad Gita discussion. So they are fully engaged. Srila Prabhupada described like fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. How can, to what extent one is engaged in devotional service depends upon how strong is our Sambandha Gyan. Um, um, or how strongly Sambandha Gyan means who am I? Um, or what is my relationship with Krishna? That is Sambandha. And one who is fixed in that relationship of what is my relationship with Krishna, then that person who is very fixed in his Sambandha Gyan will always be engaged in rendering service in that relationship. But when our actual Sambandha Gyan, our relationship with Krishna is obscure or unknown or not realized, then naturally we will put our energy based on our relationship in this world. Um, So what is the activity of those? Jiva are tathashta marginal. They can either be under internal or external. How do we know who is under the internal potency? Who is always ananya, engaged in devotional service. So he's using his free will to be under the um, uh, devotional service. So Srila Prabhupada says there are Mahatmas and there are Duratmas. And you can see the pictures. Prabhupada says Mahatmas are broad-minded and Duratmas are cripple-minded. So who are cripple-minded? Cripple-minded are engaged in personal and extended sense gratification. So cripple-minded are only like trying to please their mind and senses. This is personal sense gratification. Extended sense gratification is those who are dear to them. They are engaged in trying to please them, those who are dear to them. Or like extended sense gratification also like um, mm, Mera Bharat Mahan, my India is great or my America is great, like this. That is also extended. Serving, identifying ourselves with a nationality, with a community, with something is also based on external. Um, Mhm. Some people feel like if I'm always engaged in helping, like some love to take care, or they are so much, their goal is make my child successful, um, doing everything for my child, or doing everything for my spouse, or doing everything for my parents, and they feel like I'm very wonderful person because I'm so selfless and I'm always serving my those related to me. So Prabhupada says, well, as a duty, if we do seeing Krishna in their heart, that is wonderful. But if we are happy that we are serving somebody at the cost of sacrificing ourselves, then that is also sense gratification, but it's extended sense gratification. So people are now, almost everybody is like either engaged in themselves, or once they have family members, then they are always engaged in serving their family members. Like it is said, the husband, if like those who are not devotees, they only work for their wife and children. Or it's like, yes, if this is happy, then my life is successful, kind of. So those are cripple-minded people. Mahatmas are those, they are working for the welfare of everyone. Like we have the example of Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada had a family also. Um, but Srila Prabhupada, we see in this picture, and um, he was working for the welfare of all of us, writing books for the welfare of all of us, traveling for the welfare of others, spreading, doing Sankirtan, spreading Krishna consciousness for the welfare of others. So difference between cripple-minded and like Srila Prabhupada or Mahatmas, they are working for the welfare of everyone. But cripple-minded are working only for their own welfare. I need to be settled. I need I. And then Srila Prabhupada also says, if we are absorbed in only our Krishna consciousness, yeah, I understand Krishna consciousness is great and I want to grow in my Krishna consciousness, but I want to be settled in this life and be very successful. At the same time, I'll be Krishna conscious. Then it is also to to a great extent I-centric. But it's great if we are practicing Krishna consciousness. But we see Srila Prabhupada Mahatmas is their only service to those who are, everyone is seeking Krishna. Na? And Srila Prabhupada is only trying to do whatever he can to give Krishna to others. So this is cripple-minded, personal and extended sense gratification. And broad-minded is satisfaction of all living entities, and they try to gratify Krishna senses. Just like everyone is trying to please somebody, na? Everyone is trying to please somebody, like cook for somebody or impress somebody. Maybe our office manager, or everyone is trying to please somebody. Um, um, but those are all cripple minded, because that pleasing somebody ultimately is going to benefit me. But broad minded people, they are always trying to please Krishna, um, um, always trying to serve Krishna in all situations, circumstances, and they're always like Mahatmas, like great souls, broad minded. Um, like today, Anuttama Prabhu was mentioning. Um, their own problems, they have gone through some level of purification, that their own problem doesn't matter to them, but rather other problems becomes their problems. But one who is cripple minded, he is only trying to solve his or her problem, or her problems. I need to come out of this, come out of this, come out of this. But Mahatmas are those who who um, who are whose pleasure comes only in helping other living entities and solving others' problems. So those are, they are little broad-minded. Another thing, Malati Prabhu, our old GBC, Srila Prabhupada disciple, great Vaishnavi, Malati Prabhu was mentioning our affection should expand. When we begin our Krishna consciousness, our object of our affection is limited to those who are connected to us. Um, but affection should expand, means the whole world should become the object of our affection. This is at her level and at Srila Prabhupada's level. So those are Mahatmas. Then the result is the Mahatmas, they become internally very satisfied because they're trying to live for others. And Duratmas, they go through threefold miseries. Um, this is very, like, seems very contradictory, that someone is trying to become happy and he has to go through threefold miseries, and someone is not thinking about one's happiness, but is thinking about Lord Krishna's happiness and other living entities' happiness, and he is very satisfied. So when we are trying, it's like um, 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 one devotee was mentioning a statement that was told to that devotee by her spiritual master in Vrindavan. She was mentioning that her Guru Maharaj said, happiness is like a shadow. Um, when you try to chase it, it runs away from you. And when you don't care for it and you just keep doing your thing, then happiness follows you. You don't care about it, shadow will follow you. But you try to catch the shadow, we can never catch the shadow. It will always one step ahead. So those who are not working for themselves, but working for the service of Lord Krishna, for the welfare of other living entities, happiness will follow them. But those who engage in personal extended sense gratification, or trying to be settled and trying to be very successful and trying to be very happy in this world, and we see they are going through threefold miseries. They continue, Duratmas, they continue in Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi. And then based on their desires at the time of death, another body. And then they develop another attachment and desire at the time of death, and then another body. This is the result of Duratmas. Srila Prabhupada's statement, when the individual jiva souls are under the control of the internal energy, their only engagement is the satisfaction of Krishna or Vishnu. So that's a sign. We can see how much we can all take a moment and think about ourselves. How many of us are uh, um, our only engagement is for the satisfaction of Krishna? For how many of us our only engagement is for the satisfaction of Krishna and or for the satisfaction of everyone? Um, to the extent our only engagement is for the, like Srila Prabhupada, only trying to please Krishna and only trying to please his Guru Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada says, I have no business coming here. My only business is because my Guru Maharaj instructed me. And that's why I've come here. So only business is to satisfy his Guru Maharaj and satisfy Krishna and for no other personal motive. But to the extent we are living that life, to that extent we are Mahatmas, great souls. To the extent we are self-concentrated, self-centric, that much angle of Duratma is there. But naturally, it doesn't come overnight. We can understand, we can appreciate, we can worship Srila Prabhupada and these great devotees. We can aspire and we try to be sincere in our own practices. And we see that this is the real goal. If I can get to the point that my only engagement and my only desire eventually be only to please, whatever I am doing is only to please my Guru Maharaj and Lord Krishna. When that becomes the only focus, wow, then we will be fully satisfied. This is what Bhagavatam also says. Ahitukiya pratihata yayatma suprasidati. That yayata suprasidati. That person will be fully satisfied. Who is only on the order of my Guru Maharaj and for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. I'm doing this for you only. Wow. So this is Mahatmas. And that's why, talking about myself, there are threefold miseries. Um, because we are chasing after our own happiness. Indeed, all living entities within this material world are under the control of Mahamaya. So those who, I will say anyways, there is two kind of Maya. There is Mahamaya and there is Yoga Maya. Maya means illusion. Mahamaya is um, external energy. I'm attracted to Dhanam, Janam, Sundarim, and I have so many desires in that direction. Then I'm in the under the control of Mahamaya. Yoga Maya, I only want Krishna. I'm with Krishna. I'm deeply in love with Krishna. I'm engaging in devotional service to Krishna. But I don't know the reality of Krishna. Like for example, Mother Yashoda, her relationship is only with Krishna and her love only flows towards Krishna. But she doesn't know Krishna is God. She thinks Krishna is my son. Gopis think Krishna is my lover. And that's why they have the right to sometimes punish Krishna, becomes angry with Krishna, go in man, because their love is so intense that they don't fully understand Krishna, or their understanding of Krishna is covered. Cowherd boys, they think, um, what can Krishna do? I am the one who is lifting this Govardhan. By my stick, by my Brahmanical tej, this is happening, killing demons because of me. He is just, by him I can defeat him in wrestling also, and he will just be defeated by me. How can he do this? So in a way, but their love and affection is only for Krishna. So when our attachment is for Dhanam Janam Sundaram, we should know that I am under the influence of Mahamaya. But my attachment is so deep with Krishna that I don't care about Krishna's opulence, but I'm just attracted out of love for Krishna. That is Yoga Maya. So in this material world, Srila Prabhupada says, all living entity within this material world are under the control of Mahamaya, whose business is to subject them to the influence of threefold miseries. And we are running um, behind Dhanam, Janam, and Sundaram. And what do we get from running behind these things? We get threefold miseries. And Srila Prabhupada explains there is Adi Daivika Klesha. Daivika means demigods, Adi Devika means suffering caused by the demigods such as drought, earthquakes, and storm. As long as we're in this material world, some or the other Adi Devika klesha will be there. Snow, cold. Those in Michigan started little bit cold, chilly. So this is suffering caused by um, Adi Devika. Um, Viruses, COVID, and anyways. Then there is Adi Bhautika. Adi Bhautika is suffering caused by other living entities like insects or enemies, or it is also said people with whom we have closest relationship many times becomes the cause of misery for us also. Um, Adi Bhautika means when my misery is coming because of other living entities. The Adi Bhautika Klesha. And Adhyatmika Klesha uh, is suffering caused by my own body and mind. This is actually the biggest. More than body is the mind. Today we were discussing about how mind is the friend and how mind is the enemy as well. Because when the mind is enemy, when mind has desires other than Krishna, when mind is absorbed in something which is not Krishna conscious, and mind maybe want something which is not Krishna, which is not conducive for my Krishna consciousness. So mind is acting as my enemy. And these are then suffering caused by my own body and mind, such as mental and physical infirmities. Um, so those Mahatmas who are selfless, who are working only for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, and they're fully satisfied. And those Duratmas who are absorbed in selfish and extended sense gratification and have many desires in this world. Um, um, they are under the control of the three modes of material nature or Mahamaya. And the result they get is threefold miseries: misery by their own body and mind, other living entities, and demigods. Okay, now we begin with Atyahara. Any discussion so far or introduction? Okay, now there is Atyahara. Um, in the material world, one has to work for the mental Prabhupada. Very practically, Prabhupada says, one has to, as long as we're in this material world, one has to work for the maintenance of body and soul. But how can one perform such work in a way that is favorable for the execution of Krishna consciousness? We have to work to maintain the body and soul together. Um, um, but we want to work in such a way that work does not entangle us. So Srila Prabhupada is asking this question to everyone. How can one perform such work in a way that is favorable for the execution of bhakti? How do I work so it is favorable? Then Prabhupada says, everyone requires possessions such as food grains is required. We all need food grains. Clothes we need, money we need, and other things necessary for the maintenance of the body we need. But one should not collect more than necessary for his actual basic needs. If this natural principle is followed, there will be no difficulty in maintaining the body. So Srila Prabhupada says, how can one work in a way that one is working, but one does not become entangled, or that does not become an obstruction in one's Krishna consciousness? And the answer is by not practicing Atyahara. Atyahara means never satisfied. Yesterday, Anuttama Prabhu gave a class in Lansing, and Prabhu was mentioning about one very rich man. He owns a lot of um, mm, um, gas stations and motels and many things. And he was multi-billionaire from material calculation. And somebody asked, how much do you think you need to be satisfied? And he would say, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. So that's like Atyahara. Atyahara means never satisfied. Um, the thing is, why Atyahara is detrimental to our bhakti? is because then we don't have time for our bhakti, and we become our desire becomes to attain something, and we do a lot of endeavor, a lot of prayasa to attain that. And even when we have everything, our desire still remains, but I want that also. And now I'm running towards that. And when I attain that, then our desire becomes a little bit more. I want to get that much also. And I'm running. And because the goal of my life always goes in chasing, um, my energy is flowing in that direction. And so Krishna consciousness for me then becomes a side business. Even if you're practicing devotees, get some rounds done and that's good enough. But really I'm chasing, really want to get that. And I'm not satisfied with whatever I'm getting, but working in that direction. This consciousness is good for Krishna. Okay, I have made this much advancement, but this is not sufficient. I want to get there. I want to make my heart pure. I want to have more absorption in Krishna. Um, I'm greedy to serve more and more devotees, associate with more and more devotees. Um, um, I'm greedy to get to increase my chanting to a little bit more time. So it's the same principle. Either we are chasing various things in this world and running, and our mind is filled with goals, and we are chasing behind the goals, and then Krishna becomes our side business. But if there is no atyahara, then Krishna becomes the goal, and I'm chasing behind the goal, and job is my side business. My maintenance is my side business. Um, if that with that consciousness, then one can work, get the wealth, get the grains, get the clothes, but those are only side business for the sake of doing, and the goal is more and more and more service to Krishna and devotees, and some more chanting. Oh, my reading is slacking, I need to put more energy in my reading. um, I think I'm not getting up in the morning, or I'm sleeping too much. Or no, let's some more. Mm. Like Vaisheshika Prabhu says, where attention goes, energy flows. Okay, where is my attention going? What's important to me? What's crucial? And now, if something is really important to me, then I'll put my energy in that direction. So positive, like we all have to pay attention somewhere. This is like right use of our energy. Otherwise, people in mode of ignorance is like, don't put energy anywhere and just sleep. Sloth for 14 hours, 18 hours, and lazy. That's mode of ignorance. But passion, goodness, like everyone must have some, um, everyone must put some prayasa, um, something, okay, what I want to achieve, and I'm putting my energy in that direction. Like some people are putting their energy in, we went to a conference in New Vrindavan. They're putting their energy in, okay, how to bring locals to Krishna. And now that is where the attention is going. So that is where energy is flowing. Let's try this didn't work out, let's try this didn't work out, how, like Srila Prabhupada says, always thinking about, we must have some goals, we must be trying to achieve something. um, and if our energy is going there, either our own spiritual advancement or any service to Krishna, um, um, like it is said, we take responsibility of some service, and then we are trying to see, okay, how do I best serve in this manner, and I'm putting my attention, my energy in that direction. Like, okay, Sharad Purnima is coming, we want to decorate the altar in a forest setting. uh, that's the day, it's Thursday actually, day after tomorrow, that's the day Maharas of Lord Shri Krishna happened. Um, okay, how do I make a beautiful um, environment for Lord Shri Krishna, Srimati Radharani, for their loving pastimes? Okay, now this is where my attention is going. So, what do I acquire? I need some help. When do I do? And my energy is flowing and I'm working in that direction. So everyone attention has to go somewhere. But when our attention goes in this material existence for ourselves, then it's like Rupa Goswami says, becomes an impediment. Rather, we must have our attention goes in, and everyone have different um, natures, and everyone will be inspired in different direction how they can serve the Lord, and that becomes our dharma. Okay, how I can serve the Lord, and I really want to serve the Lord in this way, and I'm putting my energy in that direction, and I'm becoming absorbed in that. In the beginning, especially, it is very difficult to be absorbed in Krishna, but it is easier to become absorbed in service of Krishna. Right now, our state is be focused on serving Krishna. That service to Krishna will purify our heart. This we should be convinced. Oh, now Rupa Goswami, we will see in future. Rupa Goswami says one should be patient. It's like, okay, I'm serving Krishna now, and tomorrow I want to become a pure devotee and heart fully purified. It won't happen. But then, okay, I know these impurities are there. Can't do anything about it. Can't. If I had a choice, I would have taken them off long back. Um, Let me put my energy in serving Krishna. So if energy is going there, attention is going there, um, and then whatever cloth we need, whatever food grain we need, whatever job we have, we work 9 to 5, take care of the needs of our family, have loving affection with relationships with our spouse and children and parents, and serving them also, and that becomes things that needs to be done, and this becomes where my attention is going. And when I'm fully focused on that, then I will engage all my family members also as part of helping me in where I want to put my energy. And when the whole family entirely is focused on serving Krishna, wonderful. Then none of these things will entangle. But if that angle is not there, then everything is simply an entanglement. And yeah, any discussion, questions? Okay.
Uh,
Uh,
so sorry, can I backtrack to that two type of Maya, like you said about Yoga Maya and Mahamaya? Sorry, I didn't catch the second part, like the one that type of Maya, like Brajavasi and Gopi and those kind of, that is Mahamaya. What is
that
the
is
other side?
Yoga Maya.
Yoga Maya. Oh, okay. So the other one, what we what control the civilian or like the general public and kind of it, like that is Mahamaya. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yoga means connection, connecting with Krishna. Yoga.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Yoga
Okay.
Maya, it connects with Krishna. Still, we are covered by the original Krishna Tattva.
Okay. Okay. So that is the covered in illusion. Okay.
Uh, um, Illusion
Oh,
aspect is there, but that illusion helps us to love Krishna more.
no, the other one I'm saying. Mahamaya is?
Both are illusion. One
Okay.
illusion is because Maya is both are Maya. Na?
Right,
One
right.
illusion is helping me to love Krishna
Krishna. Okay.
and serve Krishna in various ways. If
Okay.
like when Mother Yashoda got this vision of seeing the universal form within Krishna, she was thinking, Abba, this is God. I must worship him. What am I doing? And then Krishna thought like, no, no, this is not conducive. This is not what I want from you. So he covered her, and
Right,
she's
right.
thinking, "Eh, if he doesn't get butter, he starts like stealing in others' houses. How can he be God?" And then he's just my child. I have to train him. He's like mischievous. I must punish him. So that is helping her love Krishna. That forgetfulness of Krishna's opulence helps us to love Krishna sweetly.
Okay.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay. So, according to nature's arrangement, living entities lower on the evolution scale do not eat or collect more than necessary. Um, like there is the example given is a lion. A lion will go, if he is hungry, he will kill. You are there, or a animal is there. He is hungry, he will attack and kill the animal and eat him. But he will go if the animal is alive, but he is not hungry, he will just pass by. He won't do anything. Only if he is hungry, he will attack. Um, so it says that those who are in the lower on evolution scale, they do not eat or collect more than necessary. Prabhupada gave an example of a bag of rice. Prabhupada says if a bag of rice is placed in a public place, birds will come to eat a few grains and go away. The human being, however, will take away the whole bag. He will eat he will eat all his stomach can hold and then try to keep the rest in storage. According to scriptures, this collecting of more than necessary atyahara is prohibited. Now the entire world is suffering because of it. So bird will come, take 2 grains and go. And then when they are hungry again, then they will again look for some grains, eat and go. But humans will come and they are hungry. They will not take a cup of rice. They will take the whole cup of rice. Arey, agla ek mahina problem solved. So Prabhupada give this example for Atyahara, um, collecting more than necessary. Of course, then people may say, then shouldn't I get a bag of rice? So Bhaktivinoda Thakur clarifies this. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, um, it depends upon one's ashram. Um, there is a grihastha ashram and there is a renounced order. Whether renounced order is brahmacharya, sannyas, or vanaprastha to some extent. They are vanaprastha also actually. All three are renounced order. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in grihastha ashram you can accumulate to some extent. And the purpose is to serve the Lord and to serve the devotees of the Lord, to feed the devotees of the Lord. And that is perfect. And in the renounced order, then you must not accumulate. And um, um, depend on Krishna to provide in renounced order. There is a story on that by there was a servant of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he would go and beg. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu um, 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 asked him after the servant, after the servant, he brought the food. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked for a mouth freshener or some digestive aid. So the devotee went, he begged. It took him maybe an hour or so, and then he came back and gave to Lord Chaitanya. So next day again, this devotee went to beg for food. He begged food. And then Mahaprabhu asked for this soft or something, betel nuts or some kind of digestive aid. So then this devotee, he went and he came immediately in no time. Mm. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, how did you come so early? And this devotee said, my lord, I knew that you are going to ask the next day also, so I begged in large quantity. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him that I think you should get married. Because Mahaprabhu is emphasizing the principle that person in renounced order should not beg, but rather whatever Krishna provides, they should accept. But in Grahastha ashram, one can accumulate for the purpose of serving the Lord and serving the devotees of the Lord. But then the idea may basically the idea is one is not satisfied and one wants more and more and more. This is the concept of atyahara. Like some new headphones are coming, I want to get that. Or um, I have so many pairs of shoes, but that is the latest pair of shoes, or more designer shoes, I must get that. Or I must get this, more clothes, more, you know, like purses. I get more. And some people have this atyahara for gadgets, electronics, a newer laptop, a better, more thin, uh, whatever, better phone. accumulate, or this does this will be very wonderful, I want to use this will be very helpful. So they have this habit of accumulation. And then when it's delivered, when they get it, they're very excited. When they get it, they use it few times, and then it's left, it's staying, and the whole house is filled with and not being used. And still the mentality is get something more. So those things are not very conducive. It's like the mind is constantly distracted. um, um, Mind has certain space now. Mind has, like, either it can be hungry and um, desire more and more and deeper Krishna, or service to Krishna, or one can become more self-centric. So in that way, we can see this bag of rice getting more and more and more and more. Uh, and this we discuss, ahar not only refers to eating, but overuse of any of the senses. Anything more than required becomes atyahara. Um, if object of sense is accepted in the mood of enjoyment, it becomes atyahara. The mind is very tricky actually. The mind, when we take up to Krishna consciousness, the mind tricks us and wants things more and more in the name of Krishna. Or sometimes things are cheaper on discount. Yeah, get more of those, get, and fill. You may use some women, or if it is really needed, and if it's cheaper, certainly buy. Like Prabhupada says, we need, but then we are constantly accumulating more and more, and then we don't use it and accumulate more. And if we are getting stack hold and we are not using it, means that tendency is there, that nature is there. But devotees, the mind can trick in our lives also, um, as this is very good for my service to Krishna. Oh, this music player, I will use it. This music player, I can use longer hours. This maybe it has more memory, it has more GB. This, and then in the name of Krishna also, we can have the same tendency of accumulation. Um, so Rupa Goswami says that is not very helpful for our spiritual life. Okay. Any question on Atyahara? Are we clear on this? Srila Prabhupada, in the beginning, Srila Prabhupada emphasized always plain living and high thinking. Actually, we don't need much for our living. So Prabhupada says plain living and high thinking, and use the mind space in how to go more deeper in my Krishna consciousness, or how to serve Krishna more and live a plain life. So that's Atyahara. Then second is Prayasa. So naturally, you see the picture. So it's like there is no need for now. There is no need to lift and carry such a high burden. But now, no. This is what I want, and then take so much effort to live a certain lifestyle. Um, I think I was mentioning this earlier. One lady was mentioning got a very nice house on rent, and um, have all these things, and now so many bills, and now all these bills needs to be paid, and now work very hard, so bills needs to be paid, and then not much time to come to programs, not much time for Krishna. And then we are like, we are taking a lot more than what we can handle, and now so much energy is going just to maintain such a struggle, just to exist. And then if I want to serve Krishna, now my hands are tied because I am so much like I have taken so much, and just to survive, this is what I need to do. So Srila Prabhupada says, if we are accumulating more, or doing more, living more luxuriant life than required, not doing a plain living. If plain living, na, it is said plain living requires, it's very easy to maintain actually. But the more demands and needs, and I'm used to the more comforts, and now more Atyahara, then a lot of prayasa will go um, to to maintain my standard of living. My spiritual master also says the more we have, the more anxiety we have, to protect what we have. So many things comes with Atyahara. So Prabhupada says collecting and eating more than necessary. Thank you. Prabhupada says collecting and eating, give whatever you like. Thank you. Thank you. Um, Collecting and eating more than necessary also causes prayasa. Now I have to work very hard, and unnecessary endeavor. By God's arrangement, actually, Prabhupada says very easy to live a Krishna conscious life. Um, Anyways, by God's arrangement, anyone in any part of the world can live very peacefully if he has some land and a milk cow. Now, somebody may say, no, this is like my spiritual master also says, when we live a certain lifestyle, then we become so used to a particular lifestyle, then we start feeling like below this is not possible for me. And this is like the standard. And then we just have to maintain that. And same things with like those who are like very say materially well to do, or some are like very simple living, and different one have different needs of what they need to maintain themselves, and one becomes used to a particular level of like this is what I need, and then that much prayasa endeavor is like unending. One has to do, then one has to do two jobs, and now everyone in the family has to work just to maintain, and that's just what we have made as a standard prayasa. Now imagine what is the prayasa for the Goswamis who is writing. Rupa Goswami is writing these verses, and what is prayasa for him? He lives under different trees, different, and then their prayasa is probably getting whatever minimum food they want, and that is their prayasa. And Prabhupada gave a standard, and Prabhupada said if you have an acre land and a cow, nothing else is required. So this is like Prabhupada setting one standard, but then um, Prabhupada also says later on, Prabhupada says, this sounds very primitive. This sounds we are going backward. And then Prabhupada said, but then we have made the society in such a way that this is the requirement. This is what I need to survive. And because so much energy is going in all this direction, it becomes difficult, becomes an becomes a speed breaker in our growth in our Krishna consciousness. Thank you. So Prabhupada says, some land and a milk cow. How many of us cannot get a land and a milk cow? An acre land. So Prabhupada said there is no need for man to move from one place to another to earn a livelihood. Now people are going so many places now. I mean, I also came to US for the same purpose, is for masters and job and successful life. And there is no need for man to move from one place to another. Why people are moving from one place to another? Because more, better this, better facility, better. And then those are my attention. This is where my energy is going, and I'm working to acquire that. And then naturally, that time we can spend Krishna consciousness will reduce. Now, this is not for, I'm not saying for devotees, because we became devotees after coming in a particular lifestyle, and now this is where we are. Naturally, we just try to do our best in whichever we can serve Krishna now, and gradually. But Prabhupada is bringing us general principle of how the society is, in which direction the society is going. Previously, um, if we see maybe 100 years back, like our grandparents, how much simple life was there, and how much atyahara, how much prayasa was required. Very little actually, and relatively simple life. Then they have time for God consciousness, they have time for chanting, very peaceful. And now the society, Prabhupada says, society is moving in a very fast rapid direction, but then people are working just to pay the bills now. um, so Prabhupada said, there is no need for man to move from one place to another to earn a livelihood. Anywhere it is possible to maintain if there is a land and a cow. For one can produce food grains locally and get milk from cows. Prabhupada says all you need to survive, you can get it from a land and cow. Prabhupada, that's why Prabhupada wanted. It is said that as Kali Yuga will progress, um, people will become frustrated with this city life. People, it is said that a major amount of earning will go only in taxes, and people will work very hard and have no savings. Especially if you deal with America, you will know people have no savings here. I know some of you may not be able to relate to it, but America means 90% of people no savings and they work very hard and no savings. So then at some point of time one may think, oh, when one comes to Krishna consciousness or feel little bit inclined, one may think, what am I doing? I'm working, so just to exist I have to do all these things just to exist. Struggle for existence, Prabhupada would say. So um, Prabhupada said there is no need for man to move from one place to another to earn a livelihood. For one can produce food grains locally and get milk from cows. That can solve all economical problems. Even with big jobs, very successful jobs, we have difficulty just to maintain ourselves with all the, I mean, I think every every person who has a house has 30 years of mortgage or 20 years of mortgage, working. Just to exist, it is so difficult actually here. And then so many economical problems. Prabhupada said if you have a cow and you have a land, it solves all economical problems. Fortunately, Prabhupada says man has been given higher intelligence for the cultivation of Krishna consciousness or the understanding of God, one's relationship with God, and the ultimate goal of life, love of God. So Prabhupada says why humans have higher intelligence? To realize my eternal relationship with God, to realize my eternity, my relationship, my love for God, the ultimate goal of life. And the time and the energy is used to cultivate that. But when the time and energy is used that I have made so many needs and I have to work hard to maintain all the needs, then where is the time to invest, to cultivate my relationship, to develop my relationship with Krishna and um, my love for Krishna and understanding Krishna. Unfortunately, so-called civilized man, not caring for God realization, utilizes his intelligence to get more than necessary and simply eats to satisfy the tongue. Yes. So what is people are becoming very civilized. They are such wear tuxedos, very successful people, um, maybe very nice, whatever pomp and show in this word, not caring for God realization. And what are they using their intelligence? Very intelligent people. But what are they using their intelligence? They're using their intelligence simply to they're using their intelligence to get more than necessary. All they're doing is atyahara. Oh, this job is not sufficient, or this job is good, but I want to become more successful. And I'm just like, little bit more. And so they are using their human intelligence, a very intelligent, well-to-do, very successful, but they're using all their intelligence to do atyahara and not caring for God realization and eating to satisfy the tongue. By God's arrangement, there is sufficient scope for the production of milk and grains for human beings all over the world. So Prabhupada says Krishna has provided actually. There is sufficient amount of grain. I also heard a decent amount of grain to maintain economic stability. They throw into the ocean, I have heard. Um, I'm not an expert in that subject matter. But anyways, um, there is sufficient milk and grains for human beings all over the world. It is also said that when we become um, um, when there is corruption or when the sinful activities goes on, then Mother Earth withdraw and people have insufficient grains. There are examples where like King Vena took over the rule. He was a very sinful man, and then Mother Earth became so like she's a devotee, Mother Earth, and she was not happy with Vena how he was ruling her, so she started withdrawing, and she would not give any much grains. And then people live on externals like animals and other things. But then when I was killed and Maharaj Prithu rule came, then again the sense reduced, and Mother Earth started giving profusely to Maharaj Prithu, and everybody was well fed. So Prabhupada says, by God's arrangement, grain will be provided. Um, they will be sufficient. Of course, dharma needs to be done. One has to work. But scripture says one is working, a simple, plain living, one is working, whatever is needed to maintain the soul and body together. One is working, and one is using one's intelligence for growing in one's, or investing in one's relationship with Krishna, which is the purpose of human life, ultimate goal for all of us. So these people, um, um, by God's arrangement, there is sufficient scope for the production of milk and grains for human beings all over the world. But instead of using their higher intelligence to cultivate God consciousness, so-called intelligent men misuse their intelligence to produce many unnecessary and unwanted things. Thus, factories, slaughterhouses, brothels, liquor shops are opened. And people are putting all their intelligence, people are using for economic development and greater sense gratification. Like people are putting so much energy to come up with bigger screens in the phone, faster phones, better chips, more art. Instead of Krishna intelligence, they're going towards artificial intelligence. Now, the name itself says it's illusory, it's artificial intelligence. I think this real intelligence to serve Krishna, but they are inclined towards artificial intelligence. So people are putting a lot of energy. They're using all, I mean, if we see from like, if we are not, if we don't constrain ourselves with the society today, but instead, if we think that, okay, let's think that I have to create a society, I have to create human beings. Let's just think out of the box. And then one may think like, mm, oh, this much is sufficient. And now everyone is working so hard to build a big skyscraper building. Civil engineer is trying to work very hard. Electronics engineer, more sense gratification. Civil engineer, more sense gratification. And whatever, biomedical engineer, more sense gratification. Every engineer is more sense gratification. Everyone have made up these artificial needs, and then they are pumping like hours and hours and research and all these things. Um, um, and that becomes their goal of their life, their energy, attention, everything goes there, and they are becoming more and more atheistic. And Prabhupada says then they get threefold miseries and repetition of cycle of birth and death. We see as we go lower in the planetary system, people are more and more materialistic. Lower planets very opulent, um, um, very electronics design, everything is very high tech. Lower planetary system, but more and more demoniac. And higher you go, like Brahma, Taplok, Janalok, Maharlok, or Kailash, where Lord Shiva resides. Everyone is fully God conscious there. And the material things are not there. It's a very simple living and fully realized souls. All these higher top four planetary systems are in mode of goodness. Mode of goodness means natural living, and it's like God conscious living. But as we come down, now we are in this environment, we are bound by the society, bound in an environment, and it's natural to be hooked up where we are staying, the environment we are conditioned by, and just keep going with the same environment. So Prabhupada says intelligence is given, but the intelligence is used in what direction to, go and attain something, and just going in, it's just simply prayasa and atyahara. So, but instead of using their higher intelligence to cultivate God consciousness, so-called intelligent men misuse their intelligence to produce many unnecessary and unwanted things. And then there are so many unnecessary, unwanted things are coming. Um, um, there is advantage of technology if we positively use it, but how much distraction is there with the technology? um, Whether it is television, whether it is mobile or computer, how much distraction is also coming. Previously, also people were very happy, actually, very peaceful. Um, so Prabhupada is saying their intelligence to produce many unnecessary, unwanted things, and they think, we are growing and we are doing so much and little better, and then root core is atheism. Thus, factories, slaughterhouses, brothels, liquor shops, and all these unnecessary demands are produced, and um, eventually, that's why it is said in Kali Yuga, people will become so atheistic and so sinful that Mother Earth will not give any grain. Um, um, That's why people become more and more sinful. That's why only animals, and later on, lack of animals also. It is very scary, but people will give birth to babies to eat them. And that will become, and right now we can't think in that direction, but it is like Ugra karma. Ugra karma will come more and more. Just like we prepare food to eat, likewise people will prepare bodies or babies. And it's like, can't even imagine. But people, I mean, we can't imagine that. Just like the age we are living in now, people in Dwapar Yuga can't imagine what is happening today. Likewise, we all can't imagine what is going to happen after 20,000, 30,000 years later, where the society is going to, because it's just keep on. Um, so if people are like, like liquor shop, brothels, and slaughterhouses. This was like legal slaughterhouses. This is like um, unthinkable for Dwapar Yuga and Satya Yuga. People just can't think of cow slaughters. This like this is not possible. Likewise, we cannot think of what degradation is going to bring. Like Kali, Ugra karma. So if people are advised not to collect too many goods, eat too much, or work unnecessarily, and to possess artificial amenities, they think that they are being advised to return to a primitive way of life. Prabhupada says, but if you give this advice to somebody of simple living, Prabhupada says, plain living and high thinking. Generally, people do not like to accept plain living and high thinking. That is their unfortunate position. People don't like, because it's like we are. When I went to Vrindavan, I remember a few years back, one devotee, you know, I went to Barsana, and I was with one Baba, and he told me, Prabhu, leave this. He said, where are you from? I said, I serve in America. So then he said, Prabhu, leave that place, come to Braj and do sadhana here, and realize. Then he took a pause and he says, but I know there is Ash or Aram of America. It's very nice. So why would you leave America? Come here. I understand attachments are there. But think about some point of time staying in Vrindavan. And I was thinking, wow, this is Krishna telling that how much attached I am. So this is our unfortunate position. That we can't simply accept plain living and high thinking, but we are so attached to a particular we just can't think. Prabhupada says it's very hard for people who are used to. That's what we are discussing earlier. No? Everyone has a particular lifestyle, and we have become so comfortable with a particular lifestyle. We think like, this is my minimum. Like this is absolutely necessary. This is absolute necessary. This is absolute necessary. But for like Goswamis, there is something different which is absolute necessary, and such people are still there. So Prabhupada is giving this out of box thinking and describing how Atyahara leads to Prayasa and how they are applied at different degrees. And Prabhupada is telling how they are detrimental because they take away our energy. Then Prabhupada was always very practical. Prabhupada gave a practical solution. Prabhupada says, "Now work 8 hours wherever you are, in US, in Germany, in Canada, wherever you are. Prabhupada says, work 8 hours and remaining time use in Krishna's service. And get up early in the morning, chant your 16 rounds, go to office, be Krishna conscious in your office, Make your home as a temple. Come back to home. See your wife and spouse, or husband and children, or your family members, your parents, as devotees of the Lord. And in their association, together do arati to the Lord. Um, Go to temple and do some service in the temple. Discuss in the morning or in the evening, family sit together and discuss Bhagavad Gita and discuss the goal of life. Each one encourage each other positively on what not to do. If somebody becomes little weak, then give them support, and make Krishna the center of your life, of your family life. Remaining evening, Krishna service, one way or the other. Morning, Krishna service. Go work, come back. So Prabhupada gave an ideal Grihastha ashram model. Okay, try this to become Krishna conscious. A human life is meant for God realization, and the human being is given higher intelligence for this purpose, to realize. That's why whatever facility is given to us is to use the facility to realize Him, to serve Him. Like Yugal Kishore Prabhuji says, why people are working so hard to make faster chips? Sense gratification, basically, in simple words. So in Srimad Bhagavatam 1-9, Sri Sutta Goswami describes the proper human dharma in this way. Dharma sahi apavargasya narthorthayo pakalpate Nathasya dharmaikantasya kamo labhaya hi smrita. All occupational engagements, dharma, are certainly meant for ultimate liberation. So first it is said, what is the purpose of dharma or occupational duty or whatever we do? And the dharmasya hi apavargasya. Apavargasya means liberation. Anything we do, the purpose of that should be, is it helping me? Is it helping me to go closer to Krishna, to develop my love for Krishna? So all occupational engagements, dharma, are certainly meant for apavargasya, for ultimate liberation. They should not be performed for material gains. One's dharma, one occupational duty, should not be for gains, material gains. Or, yeah. Furthermore, one who is engaged in the ultimate occupational service, dharma, should never use material gain to cultivate sense gratification. In other words, the purpose of occupational duty is is for liberation. It is not for accumulation. And if any accumulation comes, that accumulation should not distract us towards sense gratification. The purpose of dharma is, purpose of everything we do, it is said, sam siddhim haritoshanam. Whatever you do, you must do for the pleasure of Krishna. We discussed, there is Mahatma, there is Duratma. Mahatma does everything for the pleasure of Krishna. Duratma does everything for sense gratification and extended sense gratification. So first purpose of dharma is, whatever you do, sam siddhim haritoshana, must be done for the pleasure of Krishna. I know it's very high concept, but we are discussing whatever Srila Prabhupada has given. Must be done for the satisfaction of Krishna. And now if you are doing your dharma for the pleasure of Krishna, some gains may come. You may get some dhanam, you may get some janam, some followers may come, some wealth may come, some fame may come, some, whatever you do, if you're doing something for pleasure of Krishna, something may come. Those things that come should not be used for sense gratification. Everything, whatever comes, use it back in the service of the Lord. Everything, all the dharma, all one's occupational duty should be to please Krishna. Everything centered on pleasing Krishna. So that's what Sutta Goswami describes as the proper human dharma, is to use yourself to please Krishna. Your skills, your gains, your life to serve Krishna. Very simple question. Why were we created? Very simple answer: to serve God. We were created to serve God. And that's why it is intrinsic for us to render service. But then that is distorted in duratmas, service to the senses and service to dogs, service to the nation, service to different things. But we are meant or we are created to serve God. And when that is the purpose, then whatever comes by its own accord, whatever gain comes, is also used for the same purpose to serve God. All dharma is meant in that direction. This is what dharma is, so the Goswami describes. As stated above, dharma sahiya pavargasya narthorthayopakalpate. Religion is meant for attaining emancipation, not for getting bread. So Prabhupada says, religion is not for getting bread. God, give me my daily bread. No, that is not what religion is meant for. God, give me love for you. God, let me realize my relationship with you. God, let me serve you. Religion is meant for attaining emancipation, not for getting bread. Sometimes human society manufactures a system of so-called religion aimed at material advancement. But that is far from the purpose of true dharma. Nowadays, dharma has become um, a means for sense gratification. Like people, we say people go to temples for material desires, and many religions promote material desires. But our Bhagavatam says dharma sahiya pavargasya. The purpose of dharma is to attain God, not to attain something which is created by Mahamaya, but directly our relationship. Unfortunately, people accept religion for material prosperity because of Atyahara. So why now Atyahara principle is so ingrained? Now people are so much into Atyahara that they are not able to get what karma is giving them. So they are using religion also for Atyahara. So absorbed in accumulating. Now God, I need this, I need this, I need this. So it's like in motivated in economic development and material advancement and sense gratification. All this comes under Atyahara. That requires so much prayasa. And the religion has become a tool for Atyahara and prayasa. Rupa Goswami, all the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Wow. What is their Atyahara and prayasa? Fully absorbed. Nana Shastra Vichari Naika Nipuno Ya Dharma Samsthapako Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Nana Shastra Vichari Naika Nipuno Ya Dharma Samsthapako. And their dharma or their prayas is reading all the scriptures and finding the religious principles that will help establishing Krishna consciousness through books that will help all living entities to come to that will help them to attain the real goal. And they are putting all their energy in this direction. And they are saying, please don't put too much energy in the other direction that we have no time for our real purpose. So unfortunately, people accept religion for material prosperity because of Atyahara or an excessive desire for such prosperity. True religion, however, instruct people to be satisfied with the bare necessities of life while cultivating Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada always say, Vaishnava means simple living, high thinking. So true religion instruct people to be satisfied with their necessities of life while cultivating Krishna consciousness. Okay, and Jivasya Tattva Jigyasa. The real purpose of life is to inquire about the absolute truth. That is why we exist. We exist to serve God. We exist to inquire about Him. We exist to awaken our relationship with Him. That's why we must exist. That's why we are made to exist. The real purpose of life is to inquire about the absolute truth. If our endeavor, prayasa, is not to inquire about the absolute truth, we will simply increase our endeavor to satisfy our artificial needs. So Srila Prabhupada defines our needs as artificial needs because those are not needed. So Prabhupada says now we have made our artificial needs and all of our prayasa is going to fulfill our artificial needs. If we are not doing prayasa, if we are not putting effort to progress in our Krishna consciousness, if we're not putting energy in our sadhana, in our spiritual life, then we are naturally putting effort for sense gratification. We have some time now. Either we are using our time to advance or we are using our time to gratify. One of the two. So if our endeavor prayasa is not to inquire into the absolute, which is the real purpose of life, then we will simply increase our endeavor to satisfy our artificial needs. And people, we will always consume our time in something or the other. Okay. So that was prayasa. So that's all for today. It's 10 o'clock. I want to see if there are any discussion on Atyahara or Prayasa. I have a question here. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, what to do if our relatives or parents force us to endeavor more, to collect more and earn more? They don't understand this Atyahara because they are not devotees and very hard to understand this concept. So what if our relatives or parents force us to endeavor more? Prabhuji, actually it's not up to them, Prabhu. Actually, Srila Prabhupada, I mean, we understand the principle, but Srila Prabhupada did not say that you go back to India, you live in Vrindavan, um, or you don't have houses or don't have cars. Prabhupada did not say that. But Prabhupada says the energy, like wherever we are, if you have a house, very good, have a car, very good. With that, have a simple life. Have a life of 8 hours for your studies or for your work. And remaining time, try to put energy in our relationship with Krishna. That means have time to chant our 16 rounds, have time to read Shastra, have time to associate with devotees, have time to serve the devotees, have time to visit the temple. So we have time for, and we cultivate more and more this principle. Um, I hope that is okay, Prabhuji. Okay, anything else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yes, Mataji, bataiye.
I was just trying to see like how you mentioned about Mother Earth doesn't produce, I mean, stops producing more when there's not a good ruler or there's an envious ruler or anything like that. But isn't it like contradictory if he's doing Atyahara and the poor people are not getting anything and the Mother Earth is also stopping to produce more? Like, what is the result? Like, where is she like trying to get at with that?
Why Mother Earth is withdrawing?
Yeah.
When the corruption becomes a lot more, the sinful activities becomes a lot more, then the Mother Earth will start to withdraw.
But if she withdraws, like the people who are corrupted, they'll still get what they're supposed to get. I mean, they'll get by hook or crook, but the poor people won't get. So what's the result of this?
I mean, although Mother Earth will withdraw, my understanding is um, um, those who are devotees, they will get by the Lord's desire. And then slowly, as Mother Earth withdraws, the whole environment will become more and more sinful, more and more sinful. And Mother Earth will withdraw, and their desire also will go more towards sinful eating and other things. And the whole society will degrade, and Mother Earth will further withdraw, and everything happens naturally. And Krishna always maintains his devotees. Krishna always maintains the principles of his devotees. Krishna always provides for his devotees.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anything else anyone has? All right. And quick announcement is we won't have discussion for next 3 weeks because next Tuesday I'm traveling. going to India, and I will be back on 7th. So we will resume on Prajalpa Niyamagra and remaining from November 12th onwards. And thank you for tolerating me. My obeisances to all of you. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you.
Dandavat
Mata.
Pranam Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.